Howdy-o, everyone! Velocity here, back in action for more, talking to Mr. Van Zeek's attraction. That's right, we are annoying the bejeebus out of him, and frankly, it's a little bit too fun to do so. Regardless, we need to find out a little bit more about what's been happening with him, and also, we need to go to prison to see how our boy's doing. Honestly. Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by henchmen of Osmond's criminal organization. Investigation meant that their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hope to kill me before that happened. Odie Osmond? He is always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhanded means, via his criminal activities. He used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper. The man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, was the most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was a super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Osmond died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage and in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I had some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. It does seem a little far-fetched. This man really is the Fable Reaper. He has to be innocent in this particular death, at least. It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what if you're taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow? What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Hairbrain. That's right. Do you know him, by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together. You're... What? Yeah, contemporary. I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all. So you were students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science. So our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, he got along. Though I've not met him since my university days. Certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you of all people representing him? Only if I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know. As the prosecution be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends. It's true. Then why would you do this? The Reaper is the prosecutor. There's nothing anyone could do to save him. He's doomed. What's Lord Van Zeek's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean I'm a crowned prosecutor and a mortal like any other? No demigod. But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean? Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal. Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who, without question, deserve to be found guilty. Well, there's a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Nor was Skinny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now. I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice has literally died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. Believes you're not involved in any way. But you were attacked by ruffians because they believe it's true. The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say if my Fasunumum serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly, with honor. But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zeeks. Yeah, honestly, really respectable man, actually. Like, holy shit. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose. Ah, like you are to Hurley then, Runo? Remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective? He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask? On Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There'll be a good reason for his actions. Hope you're right. Ah! The task is complete? Good. In that case, you can collate well the briefs. Nice to meet you. Back to work again. It's really strange, though. Never met the man before. Didn't even know he existed. And yet, oh, it didn't feel like first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. That's nothing to anybody from outside the office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to. He stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Then... Oh, yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man. He's faring well. Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. With the stoop, the mustache, the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean? I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find you identify him from that list, Runa. He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after, Sasaki-san, after a Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that, or worried. I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books. Mad scientist. Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zeeks, I think. Yeah, honestly, legit. Pretty great stuff, honestly. And it does confirm my suspicions about Van Zeeks in terms of, like, how he acts. Because it definitely feels to me like he's not actually racist. I know that's a little bit weird of a sentence to say, but, like, it feels like an act. You know, like, he's trying to be rough on him specifically because, he understands how the world is and everything. I don't think he necessarily doesn't have such beliefs. I just think that he's doing a harsh love over anything else. Like how you would, like, tell a dog, effectively. Like how the dog is a little bit stupid. Like, and the dog will whack happily going like, yeah, I'm a dog, what up? Kind of like that. Again, not something you treat other people, especially people that you should respect, but at the same time, like, I don't think he would get beyond that. Like, I think he's just disrespectful and has, like, a level to it. Like, it's the closest thing to racism that isn't actually racism. It's so weird, because, like, it kind of feels that way to me. Especially with the recent case that we went through. Then again, I don't know. Regardless, it, you know, presenting yourself as racist is still racist, you know? The 22nd of October. Local prison. Cell 11. The woman said cell 11. That's this one. Oh! There's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look! What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me. Professor Hairbrain? Who are you? I'm Renosuke, not a lawyer? Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here? About the experiment? How are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry? Yesterday's demonstration! That this demonstration was... The magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success! By anyone's calculations! But despite that... No one listens! No lawyer believes in the science when it's explained. They all leave at high velocity. Now's probably not a good time to mention your zeal about made my concentration leave for a while too. He's definitely out about something. Ah, fascinating guess! Japan, where I come from, it's a symbol of defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I feel. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for work very bracing too. However, in my case, there is a very logical reason for that feeling. Oh, Really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. The sleeves, especially, are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrists. That's what you call logical? Is it? Of course! It's entirely logical! That's science with an order! Okay. How could this happen to me? He must feel awful, as well as a man losing his life. The Crystal Tower was greatly damaged too. I know what happened! I must have been that. That? The day before the demonstration, I had my usual meal of frankenfutters at the hotel restaurant. When I paid the bill, they gave me 3 shillings, too much in change. But instead of saying anything, I just slipped the coins into my pocket. They're still there now! It's divine retribution for my wrongdoing. That's what it is. For a scientist, he has some very illogical anecdotes. Long and illogical. Yeah, I'm liking this guy. He's kooky and fun. So, yesterday's demonstration? You mentioned the demonstration yesterday. The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he? Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. But I suppose in the strict sense, the experiment was a failure. At the same time, he was a great success. You've lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Osman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded. Mr. Osman, in fact, perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is, the large explosion that killed Mr. Osman was an accident, correct? The Bigwigs had you arrested on the suspicion of murder. I was responsible for the man's death. That is an immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished at once. But... murder? Never in a million years! It was an accident! Simply an accident! I see. Hurley and I were talking this morning, you know? He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder. How exactly? Well, if it really was an accident, the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody. On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special, Dispensation, for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by. If the case is treated as murder, then they'll say the machine was the murder weapon, and... oh. Then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then... they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. Okay, but what about this instantaneous kinesis? So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exposition Showground yesterday? Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, that was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me. You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating! Humans, like all matter, are made of particles that are held together by electric bonds. So it must be possible using a significant high voltage to break those bonds and beam that particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! Just think, one moment I could be here in the cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exposition again! Well, yes, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, yeah, I could be at the Great Parjan Theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So, no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days? I don't really see it like that. What do you mean, Iris? Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think I'd feel it like it had shrunk. My word! That's exactly right! So what are the implications? What does this mean? Oops, that's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the look of it. Well, this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works. Without the practical demonstration, it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment. Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have. That's exactly it, yes. Hurley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science. Anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Osman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? Okay, the victim. The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Osman, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thanked my lucky stars. I see. So you wouldn't really know each other until then. Money for scientific research. So envious. As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exposition. If that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Osman provided me with money, an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications. But then, your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion. As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Osman. I would never, even ever, have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Yeah, I would think so. I understand Lord Van Six is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unamusing, gentlemanly, and all around a nice fella, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor, Barack Van Zieks? What was he like when he was at the university? Talk about a leading question, Reno. As I said, unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is a little darling of the Van Zieks family, with all its great aristocratic origins. I I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood. Little darling? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper the Bailey, no less. Yes, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation. Really? What sort of event? I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh, yes, of course. He's heard all about the Reaper. I don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Seeks will be his prosecutor in court tomorrow. So it'll just be a fun little thing. So, Professor, let me just make something absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intention to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4! I swear it! Yes, it's true. The man perished in the machine of my invention. So I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still! I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life, not in a zillion years! I'm a man of science! It's all I know! You have to believe me, please! Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. Afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. I do believe you. I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of law. That's all I know. You have to believe me. Please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court. Alright, Runo, it's time. Time to visit the Great Exposition. Sorry? Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it? Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last. Yeah, it is. A new location. The Crystal Tower. The 22nd of October, the Great Exposition. Grounds. Foot of the Crystal Tower. Sure guns are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now. I felt myself swooning 3 times. There are a lot of people, aren't there? Almost been trotted on 3 times, too. Careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. Finally made it through the drogs, though. By the look of it. Here we are, underneath the public experimentation stage, where the explosion happened yesterday. What's that? Your voice is from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Right, I'll have it with you this time. I'll warn you. I'll arrest you in a minute. Oh yeah? Go on then, Spectre. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and then you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady, but a night on the cell will teach you some manners. Just try it, I dare you. If you want that bag of chips rammed down your throat. Yo-ho! Great Grayson! Yo-ho! Griggsy! What are you doing up there? It's you! Here! You're here! Here you are! Here you! Your ladyship! What are you doing, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship! That make her 3 times a lady? I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue. Unbelievable. I'll go have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time, once I pull some strings for you. Goodbye, His Grayson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. Though recently he was suspended from duty. It appears he's back in action now. It's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. For that reason, he can't say a word wrong. The story's author, Iris. There are limits, surely. But there should be. Oh, sunshine! Sorry! What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense. So we're here to investigate. Yeah, mate. That's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling? He's like 5 bob. Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You could stand to carry a bit more copper around in your pockets, Mr. Naruto. Well, hey! That's my last bit of spending money, that is. You can have it back. No, I'll charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. This is Gina Lestrade, a pickpocket, or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. The young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Aunt Udo? Diver, pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips rammed down your throat at all, do you? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Grayson about it, weren't you? I assume you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Ido. Over years, a long time. People could change. I'm apprentice now, wanting to be Scotland Yard detective. You'll have to call me what everyone else does. Inspector Lestrade, now. Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. Inspector Paul isn't entirely accurate. No one calls it that. But what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the charts for all of us. What's that supposed to mean? Right, well, I'll be back up top. Hold the fort down here, alright? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. Yes, it does. My goodness.